So considering that we are both women,
Mm-hmm.
and you and I are also friends, so we spend a lot of time talking about growth and listening to the voice of God and making that move when you need to. Do you think that right now is like the peak time for Black women to be coming into their awareness and practicing better use of faith?
I do. Um, I think that any time actually is a good time, because ultimately life is short and you never know what tomorrow holds or what the next minute holds. So I
Mhm.
think just us as Black women, we should always look forward to growing and deepening our faith. Um, but especially during times like this,
Yeah.
because there are conversations that are happening, and while everybody may not listen, you'll never get the majority, but some change is happening. Um, we are the most abused,
Mm.
the most disrespected, the most belittled, the most ridiculed, the most neglected culture of women
Mhm.
is in on the planet, in the universe. And right now there are conversations going on about how can that be changed.
Yeah.
And while it's disheartening that majority of the backlash is coming from our counterparts,
Yeah.
um, some of them are also listening.
Yeah.
They're also listening. And so there are other conversations going on like, maybe they're not over exaggerating.
Right.
Maybe, we do need to take responsibility in regards to how we've treated them, or how we've neglected them, or how we've shamed them, or how we, assaulted them or abused them, or, whatever the case may
Mhm.
be. And so I think right now, especially if the Black woman is single, stay single.
Yeah.
Stay
This is your
single,
time.
focus on your
Yeah.
children, focus on yourself.
Mhm.
Get yourself together.
Yeah.
Find security, find a solid foundation in yourself and your children and the bond that you guys share, and the love that is there now.
Mhm.
Because one thing I've learned in this journey of my life, love is relative. There's no, people try to give it different labels, but there isn't a different label,
Right.
because the love that I have for my mother, the same way I would have died for her, the same way I would have given her my last, the same way I'd give anything to have her back, I feel the same way about my children.
Mhm.
And I gave birth to them, she gave birth to me. There's a different dynamic or
Yeah.
whatever, but the love is the exact same.
Mhm.
With my dad, it's the same exact thing. You know what I mean? With my best friend, it's the same exact thing. If I have something that she needs or she wants, she can have it,
Right.
because she's my best friend. She has been there for me and seen me at my absolute worst. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? And there's, it's a different dynamic, but the love is the same, you
Yeah.
know. And I think that's what we as a society, period, just people, period, need to stop trying to make, oh, it's agape love, it's this kind of love, it's that kind
Yeah.
of love.
It's
No,
love.
it's love. If
Yeah.
you, it's no gray area. People keep trying to make gray areas, and realistically there are none. If
Right.
something isn't right, it's wrong. If
Mhm.
it isn't left, it's right. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Stop trying to make these gray areas. If something is, it is. If it isn't, it is not. You know,
Yeah.
and just embrace that. People, oh, I want love, I want love. And you have love right there looking at your face.
Right there. Girl, you are preaching.
You
And I
know,
tell you, I appreciate our relationship so much because, like the other day, when I was stressed about my job, I
mhm.
was feeling so overwhelmed because I'm a single mom.
Right.
I get back and forth to do things that, like, I have another dentist appointment coming up this week. I'm gonna have to tell these people, hey, I got to take my child to the dentist. They expect me to be at this desk working for them.
Right.
Even if I say I have to take off, you will call me, you will email me with an exclamation point, you will demand that I show up, you will, and I'm like, I have these other responsibilities that I have, like, I have a child with special needs. Like, I need some grace and a little bit of cushion, but that just speaks to the condition of the Black woman, because it's not just me that's getting that treatment.
Right.
It's other Black women I work with.
Right.
Like, I can see it across the board. We are the workhorse of that hospital.
Absolutely.
And we are expected to continue to show up without complaint through the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to go there physically, but my work is getting heavier and heavier.
Right.
So I'm right here. And I appreciate you because, I was getting down about it and I was feeling very overwhelmed. And you were like, bitch, boo. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm going to be completely honest. It's like, it's been hard for me to create those kinds of relationships with other women, because the woman I grew up with in my house, my sister, didn't have that kind of relationship. Right. Now, we had a closeness, but it was toxic.
Right.
And I love her dearly, but it still is toxic.
Right.
So I have to put myself in some space between her. You know what I'm saying?
See, this is another thing people don't realize, the correlation, and people don't realize the correlation with how you grew up. It plays out in every area of your life, not just what do you call it? Romantic relationships. It plays out in your work relationships. Yeah. It plays out in your friend relationships. It plays out in your relationship with your children.
Yeah.
It plays out everywhere.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
yeah,
with that, you probably tolerated and dealt with a lot of stuff from that particular person, and now you're allowing a job to do it simply because they say they're giving you a paycheck.
Right.
But that's not, you don't put a monetary value on your sanity.
Absolutely.
And so with that, I would never tell anybody, like a lot of these woke people, like, oh, start a business. Black people need to start a business. Everybody can't be the boss, baby.
Right.
Everybody can't be the boss. But what I will tell a person, anybody, whether you want to be the boss or whether you just want to go off into another career area, plan your exit.
Yeah.
Plan your exit. Because especially if you keep coming into a miserable situation and it's only getting more and more miserable by the day, and you're trying your best to turn it around and it's not happening, that means you are now fighting a brick wall, and you're only going to be the one hurt. The wall is not going to hurt.
Right.
You are going to be the one with the broke knuckles, the bloody knuckles, the broke fingers, and all that. It's going to be you, not the wall. So I would say, like, in any situation, plan your exit. I would never tell anybody, oh, just F that job, walk out. You got children and bills.
And like, really, my focus is like everybody keeps saying, well, you just need to quit. You just need to quit. And like, yes, I do. I know that. But I have a child with special needs. I'm like in a supreme panic behind that health insurance, because I know I really need to be taking her to this specialist and this specialist.
Right.
Of course, now I'm working on getting all those funds together, because even though they pay me, it's still not enough.
Of course not.
It's still not enough. So it's like, I'm just in my humanity right now with that.
Right.
Because all I can think about is my baby, she needs my son and his braces and all these other things. Right. But also I can still get health insurance. There is other health insurance.
Yeah,
so absolutely. Like, I have to release myself from it, because I am holding myself hostage in that past that used to be, because I vibed out of that job a long time ago. Almost 2 years now. I've been like, oh, this is not lining up with me.
Right.
And that is how I want to show up for myself. if something is not in alignment, it has to leave.
Absolutely.
And that's why I appreciate our relationship, because, you know, and I'm building a new circle of women that I trust.
Right.
And I just never had, like, me and my mom are good, but I never had those good solid friendships, because it seemed like every time I turned around, somebody was slicing my ankle and kind of doing me sort of like I had been done the whole time. So it was like, well, damn, can you trust people? You know what I'm saying?
Girl, I'm sitting here, look, you have to have me in tears.
I don't want you to cry, but I mean, like,
That's the section that I'm on in my new book.
Mm.
And that's what I'm talking about. And, you know, it's don't get me wrong, I can't place all the blame there, because I stayed, you know, in these situations and in these friendships. But at the same time, those people have to take accountability as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like to look back and, you know, or like right now, be 38 and literally I can count on one hand how many people I can actually talk to and still have fingers left.
Right.
That says a lot. And maybe I shouldn't, you know, care, but it's like, okay, if I was to get married, you know, there's
like, are you also gonna cut me?
It's like, you know, there's, well, not even that. It's just looking at the dynamics of, I don't have a wedding party, or the iconic girls trip. You know, oh, let's get the girls together and go on the girls trip.
I would show up.
You know, well, no, I know, but it's three people.
But it can't just be me and you.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, good. Like, that's not really that much fun. Girls trip, you're supposed to have like at least 4 people.
But you know what, though? When I was really wanting help and looking for some friends, because I was like, I know I need some strong women.
Right.
And I didn't put a color label on it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because I needed some strong women.
Right.
And people started showing up, like you.
Aww.
You know, people started showing up that I could vibe with.
Okay.
And people were like, you don't have to tolerate this. You're a fucking goddess.
Right.
You know, like, you know, Katia Godot?
Yes. Yes.
She, every day, she's like, what's up, goddess?
Oh, I love that.
Like, she is super supportive. So it's like, you know, when I was asking for that support, I wrote it down.
Yes.
I was crying. And I was like, I'm by myself. I need support. And that was like last year, but people started showing up.
Them tears is powerful sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I use them. Because I cry all the time. I'm like, okay, I'm sensitive for a reason. Absolutely. That means I'm always able to transmute it.
Absolutely.
You know, like even today, I had a situation that hurt my feelings, made me cry, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna boss up around this bitch. That's how I'm going to deal with it. This is how I'm going to tolerate this level of disrespect that you just brought to me. I'm gonna boss up around this bitch. So if this made you feel threatened, please believe it's about to get worse for you.
Right.
Please believe it's worse. But I just have to remember that people who treat me like that, it's not me. You know, it's a projection from them that they feel threatened by whatever it is. And you should never feel like that, because there is no competition.
Listen.